Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for Greater Boston League Baseball. Lynn English, the Bulldogs, taking on the Malden Tornadoes. Malden looking for a win, which would qualify for the tournament. They're 9-7. 10 wins gets you in. English trying to creep a little closer to that tournament berth. They're 8-6. English trying to make it 2 in a row for Lynn teams here at Fraser. Classical had a easy Mercy Rule win over Chelsea in the first game. And we're waiting patiently to see what happens with the lights. Because the other night English and Classical were playing, and the lights here at the newly renovated Fraser Field went out and never came back. It was an amazing night. The stake, or the pole, I guess you call it, behind third base was the light station that went out. Everything else was on. So they shut all the lights out to see if that would come back on. And the one that went out was the only one that came back. Everything else stayed off. So hopefully they had the electrician in to check it out, get it ready. And we'll find out shortly. They don't need them yet. So we're getting ready. Jake Simpson, who is the opposing pitcher, will lead it off for Malden here in the top of the first inning against Elijah Wallace on the mound for the Bulldogs. In for a strike, 1-1. Few brave fans here for this one. It is a very cold night, and it's going to get colder when that sun goes down. The wind is not blowing as hard now as it was before, and it was bitterly cold. I'm dressed like I'm going to Connery to do a hockey game. I'm actually wearing gloves. Hit right back to the mound. Just a little tap. He reached for that one and just slapped it right back to Wallace. Almost like an excuse me swing. 1 up, 1 down. Ezekiel Noel Saint. Noel Sanat, I guess. I'm trying to read the coach's writing. This is my first time seeing Wallace pitch. He doesn't take much time. Stepped away from that pitch, popped it up. He was backing up towards the English dugout when he swung at that pitch. So Eldrian Bonilla at first base gets the first 2 putouts. One, the play from the pitcher. This one, the pop-up. So there's 2 outs. Ryan Cogswell, the shortstop, is the hitter. Swing and a miss. Foul tip held onto by Falaska. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Impressive inning for Elijah Wallace. He takes a grounder and handles it himself. An easy pop up to first and then a swinging strikeout. A 1-2-3 inning. Malden is down. English will come to bat. It'll be Guilma Galva, the center fielder, leading off. Janier Rodriguez will play short and bat second. The right fielder, Jason Figueroa, will play right field and bat third. Hitting fourth and playing first base, Adrian Bonilla. The catcher, Brendan Velasco, will hit number 5. Playing third and hitting sixth, Jariel Benzin. The second baseman, Skendry Manzanillo, will hit number 7. Gilbert Galva will be the designated hitter, hitting for the pitcher, Eliza Wallace, hitting 8th. And bringing up the tail end of the batting order, playing left field and batting 9th, Mateo Rodriguez. Jake Simpson on the mound for Malden. We mentioned a win by Malden would officially get them into the state tournament. As we got a few more brave fans coming into the park on a very cold night. I thought we had beaten all of the terrible weather. Just yesterday, we did a couple of softball games, and it was in the 80s. Had people running around in shorts and a t-shirt. So Gilmore Galva, the center fielder, will lead it off for the Bulldogs. Down and in for a ball. Pitching from the stretch, Jake Simpson. In for a strike, 1-1. That sun comes out a little brighter now. On the corner, good pitch for strike 2. Slap to shortstop. Nice stretch by the first baseman, McDonald, on the throw from the shortstop, Cogswell. Galva is out. Play goes 6-3 for the out. Janier Rodriguez, the shortstop, will be the hitter. Waves at that pitch for strike 1. Hit foul out of play. We had cars all over the place through the first game because they had a huge event at Manning Field. I don't know what it was. They had chairs, they had multicolored flags or whatever it was floating around, and the parking lot was filled. Slap, great play by the shortstop. Safe, he missed the tag. He'll reach on the error. It's hard to give the shortstop Cogswell. That looked like a base hit up the middle. Cogswell went way to his left, picked it, threw the ball. It pulled the first baseman off the bag, and he missed the tag. So it has to be an error on the shortstop on the throw. But he made a tremendous play to get to the ball and looked like he was going to throw him out. Jason Figueroa, the right fielder, will be the hitter. So English with the first base runner. The runner takes off. Safe at second base. He slid by him. He got a great jump from first base. So a runner at second with one out. In for a strike. We're already ahead of the game. Glasgow and Chelsea only had one umpire. We got two here. Up and away for a ball. Wide for a ball. Anybody that wants to be an umpire out there, jump in. They're having trouble getting umpires. Hit foul, backing out of play. Slap to second base. They throw him out at first. For the second out. Rodriguez will move over to third. So he's 60 feet away from giving English a lead, but there's two outs. Adrian Bonilla, the first baseman, is the hitter. Left fielder in the center. They're playing hard. I don't know who they think is up. They're playing the deepest outfield I've ever seen. Right field, left fielder not that far away from the fence. Center fielder is a mile up, dead center field. Stead, the catcher, blocks it and keeps it in front of him. Swing and a miss. Bonilla looking to get on base to bring that runner home from third and give English a lead here in the first inning. Hits it over the Malden dugout and into the seats. About a half a dozen Malden fans here. Hit solidly right to the shortstop. Hit it right on the nose. They didn't see it. First baseman couldn't see the throw. The sun, I said, the sun just came out extremely bright, and the first baseman never saw it. He ducked out of the way. So 2 errors help English to get on the board. Wide for a ball to Brendan Falaska, the catcher. I mentioned how bright the sun was, and all of a sudden, shortstop is in shade, but the first baseman is looking right into the sun, and he never saw the ball. He kind of flinched, hoping it didn't hit him. And the run scores. In for a strike on the inside corner. So 2 breaks for English with 2 errors. Wide for a ball. Simpson should have been out of the inning. First one was a tough error with a great play by the shortstop, but then threw it away. Hit in the left field for a base hit. So the hit by Velasco extends the inning, puts runners at first and second for Jareel Benson, the third baseman. And I think we're going to get a runner for Velasco. Limbert Thomas will run for Velasco. Benson the hitter. High and away for a ball. They turned the lights on at Manning Field. I'm not sure why. There's nothing over there. They haven't turned the lights on here yet, but they turned the lights on over at Manning Field. In for a strike. Waves at that pitch. Just got a piece to stay alive, reaches for that one. Just touched it. With the wind stopped here, it's warmer now than it was earlier in the day. Hit foul again, out of play. Reaches for it, taps it to third. They're not going to get him. The ball gets thrown away, the runner's going to score. Just a little tap to third. They probably should have held it because Benson beat it for a hit. Third error in the inning. First and third with 2 outs, 2 runs in. Just a tap down, a swinging bunt down the third baseline. They had no chance to get Benson. They tried anyway, and they threw it in the dirt. It bounced in the turf, I should say. I got to get used to that. It deflected away from the first baseman. And Bonilla was able to score. Velasquez scoots over to third. Nice stop by the catcher Stead again on a pitch down and in. This is Kenry Manzanillo, the second baseman. Swing and a miss. Chased that pitch, it was down and away. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Malden being very gracious guests. They give English a couple of runs with errors all over the place. 3 errors in the inning. English jumps on Malden to get 2. At the end of 1, it's English 2, Malden nothing. 4, 5, and 6 for Malden as we start the second inning. Tim Melton, the left fielder, will be the hitter. Elijah Wallace will start his second inning of work. In for a strike. Missing wide for a ball. 2-1 the count to the Malden left fielder. That center's really a pain in the neck right now. Good ball breaks on the inside corner, evens the count at 2. It's as bright the sun right now as it's been all day. Hit the shot. Rodriguez to Bonilla for the out. Good strong throw over to first by Rodriguez. Brandon McMahon, the second baseman, will be the hitter. In for a strike. Waves at that pitch for strike 2. Wallace doesn't take any time at all. He catches the ball, he's ready to throw it. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Two up, 2 down for Ryan McMahon, the third baseman. On the inside corner for a strike. Two quick strikes. Not wasting any time at all. Popped up in the short right field, is going to drop for a base hit. Little inside out swing. Jammed him in front, and he just kind of golfed it over the second baseman's head in front of the center fielder. Malden has their first hit, their first base runner. Wallace had retired 5 in a row. Missing low and inside for a ball. In for a strike. Velasquez looked like he was going to throw it to first, and we pumped the throw. It popped out of his hand and went behind him, and then the runner, McMahon, took about 4 or 5 steps to go to second base. Velasquez threw a strike to second, but McMahon was going back to first. Hit to second base. Manzanilla will make the play himself unassisted at second, so the hit doesn't hurt. Malden leaves the base runner. We'll move into the bottom half of the second inning. English holding on to that 2-0 lead. And it'll be 8, 9, and 1 for the Bulldogs. They'll be one of 4 teams on the 26th and the 27th of May, the last weekend, Friday night and Saturday starting early. Doubleheader Friday, doubleheader Saturday will be the 2nd annual Dougie Mullins Memorial Tournament. English, Classical, St. Mary's, and Swampscott will be the 4 teams. Mullins was an outstanding athlete, very good coach. Coach Legion became an assistant with Joe Caponegro, and when Joe left, he became the head coach. And helped a lot of young people. He was a terrific young man and left us way too soon. Way too soon. Gilbert Galva, DHing for the pitcher, Elijah Wallace, will lead off the bottom of the 2nd inning. And again, the Malden outfield is out in no man's land. That one bounces in. It's still unusual that the lights are on at Manning Field and they're not on here at Fraser Field. Down and away, 3-0. Take a good long look at this pitch. In for a strike. And again, got to be fussy. It's still 3-1. You still got 2 pitches. It's got to be a pitch you can handle. Chop, foul. So the count goes full. Now you can't be as fussy. Hit foul again down the 3rd base line. It's almost like the first baseman is the only player in the sun. And the sun is extremely bright. Hits it to 3rd. Bobbled. Stay with it. And they overthrow the first baseman. He thought about going to 2nd and held up. So another error. They made 3 errors in the 1st inning, and English got 2 runs. And they start the 2nd inning with another error. He bobbled it and then hurried to throw and threw it over the first baseman's head. Mateo Rodriguez, the left fielder, will be the hitter. And they've got to quickly put these lights on at Fraser Field. Hit to 3rd. They dropped the ball at 2nd base. It's hard to believe what's going on here. They've committed 5 errors. And there's no outs in the 2nd inning. And it brings the conference out. I don't know if they're going to talk to the base umpire and ask him if that should have been an out. I don't know how they can. He wasn't trying to throw the ball. He just dropped the ball. It's one thing if you catch it and you're in the throwing mode. You can say, well, he caught it, and in the throwing process, he dropped it. But he just dropped it. He was standing on 2nd base looking for the force out, there wasn't going to be a play at first base, so he wasn't going to throw it to first. And the coach is making a change. Gavin is coming in. I don't know why he's mad at the left fielder for. The left fielder wasn't involved in anything. He's taking the left fielder out, who was his cleanup hitter. And he's putting Galvin in right field. Left fielder's not happy. I can understand why. I don't know what they're taking him out for. He had nothing to do with anything. Top of the order, Gilmer Galva grounds out short to first. And they got to hurry up and put these lights on. He gets the bunt down. They're not going to get him. And they throw it away. Two runs are going to score. I'm not sure what they're doing now. He got the bunt down, they threw it away. 2 runs scored on the play. Galva wound up at second base. They're putting the runners back at first and second, and they're calling Galva out. I don't know if they said he was out of the batter's box. So those 2 runs that scored didn't score. Janelle Rodriguez reached on an error and scored a run. In for a strike. And they're waiting a long time to turn these lights on at Frazier Field. I don't see the DPW guy anywhere. Now, as I say that, the lights come on. The pitch goes to the backstop. One of the Malden coaches is leaving the park. I know he didn't get thrown out. It's been bizarre here. Looked like English had 2 more. Hit to center field. Long run for the center fielder. He gets there and makes the play. The run will tag up and score. Jason Figueroa, the right fielder, is the hitter. Now they're going to appeal at third base. So all the lights are on here. Or most of them. Right field is still having a problem with light fixture out. That's the next big movement here at Fraser Field after getting the turf down. The field looks absolutely gorgeous. They did a great job. Now they got to go to work on the lights. Down and in for a ball. So there's 2 outs in this bizarre inning. That goes through the wickets. Rodriguez moves over to third with 2 outs. And that's ball 4. Guerrero draws a walk. Eldrin Bonilla reached on an error with a run scoring, and then he came around to score on an error. Those were the 2 runs in the first inning. They take off. They fire it back to the pitcher, hoping the runner at third would go someplace, with Figueroa stealing second. So it's second and third now with 2 outs. On the inside corner for a strike. So we had some bizarre happenings in the baseball world. We saw Glasgow run into a double play with runners at second and third. We saw a runner at third come scooting home on ball 4, and it wasn't a force to run in. He came down, he got tagged out at home plate. Now English thought they had 2 runs, and they don't. So they end the second inning the way they ended the first inning with a swinging strike, but English adds to the lead. They get another run. They do it without a hit. We played 2. English now leads 3-0 over Malden. 8-9-1 for Malden as we start the third inning. Kyle Wilson, the DH, hitting for the first baseman, Chris McDonald, will lead it off. Down and away for a ball. In for a strike. How'd we do? Couple of English girls players softball. So English are going to try and make it 2 in a row. Out at first base. What a great play. That's an ESPN highlight. Bonilla went way to his right, reached across his body and speared that shot. And he flipped it. An outstanding hustle by Wallace. Just stepped in front of the runner to beat him to the bag. The play goes 3-1. What an outstanding defensive play. They take a base hit away from Wilson on a tremendous defensive play on both sides. Great hustle by Wallace. And Wallace just outstepped him at first base, just squeezed in front. Got the little pitch from Bonilla. Hit to third. Benson makes the easy throw over to Bonilla. 2 up, 2 down in the third. Top of the order, Jake Simpson bounced to the pitcher on a little check swing leading off the ball game. High for a ball. I'm still thinking about that. What a tremendous, I mean, Bonilla just to stop that from going in the right field was a great play. Hit to left field, starting to come in, now goes back. Over the head, Rodriguez makes the catch going away. A 1-2-3 inning, second 1-2-3 inning in 3. For Wallace, he helped himself with that tremendous defensive play. Malden is down very quickly in the third inning, but just for Bonilla to get to that and stop it from going into the outfield was outstanding. He wasn't going to be able to beat the runner to the bag. He realized it, and here comes Wallace from the mound, hustling over and getting it done, just outstepping Wilson. And it winds up with a 1-2-3 inning. Simpson will start his third inning. He deserves a better fate. He gave up 2 hits, both of them in the first inning, but should have been out of it. In 2 innings, Malden has made 5 errors. I just spoke to the English girls softball team. They won. So English could make it a sweep if they can hold on to this lead against Malden here, and the girls have already won. And English can also make it a 2-0 sweep here at Fraser because Glasgow won the first game. Five, 6, and 7 for the Bulldogs. Brendan Falaska got a base hit. His first time up. One of the 2 hits they got in the first inning. And neither hit was involved in the scoring. The 2 runs scored on 2 infield errors. Down and away for a ball. We got this Falaska in English, and we got another Falaska at St. Mary's, who just got a big win on the mound yesterday. On the inside corner for a strike. And that wind is picked up again, and it's getting really chilly. Nice stop by Stead, the catcher, on a pitch down on the turf. I got to get used to saying turf now because in the past, the mound was dirt, the infield was turf, the outfield was grass. 3 different versions. Now everything out there is turf. And Manning Field, Fraser Field, colleges would like to have these 2 places. Never mind high schools. Chop, foul. Just died about 10 feet down the first baseline. Hit in center field. Everybody gets excited because he hit it a ton, but they're playing 8 miles out. The center fielder Noelsen didn't have to move. Solid shot by Velasco, but right at the center fielder. Again, I haven't seen a high school team play this deep in the outfield ever. Jerry Benson got a base hit his first time up. In for a strike. Down and in for a ball. Low for a ball. 2-1. Lined in the left center field for a base hit. Solid shot by Benson. He's got his second hit. He's at first with one out. Henry Manzanillo, the second baseman, struck out swinging. Foul tip held onto by Stead. Late swing, that was in on the hands, and at the last second he said, I think I'll swing at this. And he fouled it off. Pitch was almost by him. Hit in the air to left field again. The left field was back almost to the warning track. He dropped the ball. Safe at second. The runner at first was going back to first, thinking it was caught. Left fielder. Left field, who was now Gavin. Looked like he made a great play, almost back to the warning track. Got a glove on it and just dropped the ball. Yet another error. They took their left fielder out for whatever reason. Hit in the air. It's going to drop in for a hit, and that's what you get for playing out in no man's land. That's normally an out. So a hit, an error, and a hit that blew the bases. That was Gilbert Galvin with that little Texas League single. Mateo Rodriguez reached on an error. That was that bizarre inning when it looked like he scored. And now we got another conference going out to the mound. This certainly isn't Simpson's fault. 3 errors in the first inning gave English 2. 2 errors in the second gave him a run. And now an error here in the third of loaded the bases with 1 out. But they're playing, I hate to beat a dead horse, but they're playing out in no man's land. Gilbert Galva's hit normally would have been an out to center field, but they're playing so deep that it just dropped in. So Rodriguez will step in, top of the order. Gilmer Galva on deck. 1 out, the bases loaded. English trying to add to a 3-0 lead. And again, Malden being very generous guests. Nice stop by Stead. That was ticketed for the backstop. Outstanding by Stead, bouncing to his right and blocking it. Down and away again, 2-0. Swing and a miss. 2-1. Boy, it is cold here at Frazier Field. That wind is blowing. Look, the wind is probably down in the 40s. Line gets by the second baseman. It looked like he might catch it. So the plate won't be in time. They got the runner hooked up between first and second. The runner from third is not going. Now the runner's going to score. Another bizarre play. Two runs scored on the play. Now we get the third run in, and we got another trip out to the mound, and that's probably going to be it, but certainly isn't Simpson's fault. That was like a little soft, looked like a line drive. Looked like it was going to be right to the second baseman. It short hopped him and just skipped right by him into right field. Initially, the runner at third was not going when they had the runner hooked up. Good job by Rodriguez to stay alive between first and second so that finally Galva could score. English had 3 coming into this inning. They've scored 3 in this inning. They lead it now 6-0. And we have another conference on the mound. And I'm assuming we're going to change all over the place. Simpson, the pitcher, is going to go to third. The third baseman, McMahon, will be the new pitcher, so they just switch spots. So Simpson, the pitcher, and McMahon, the third baseman, just switch spots. McMahon will be the new pitcher. Simpson will go to third. Certainly not Simpson's fault. He's given up 6 runs. Just about all of them have been unearned. Malden's thrown the ball all over the place. English has 3 runs in. Swing and a miss. Again, Stead going where it was right, picking that. And Galva gets hit. So first and third now with one out. Junior Rodriguez reached on an error and scored. Hit a sacrifice fly for an RBI. So he's 0 for 1. Scored one, knocked in one. First and third, you would expect Galva to go to second base. Takes off. They throw it down. Shortstop cuts it off, but the runner at third wasn't going anywhere. So it's second and third with one out. Up and in for a ball. Stead very active behind the plate again. He saved Malden a couple of runs with pitches that were way wide. Down and away. Rodriguez draws a walk. So the bases are loaded for Jason Figueroa, who rounded out second to first and walked. He's the Bulldog right fielder. And again, they are way out in the outfield. Center fielder almost has to buy a ticket to get back in. In for a strike. They shorten up at first and third for Malden, looking for maybe a play at the plate, but short and second, back hopefully for a double play. Two quick strikes. High for a ball. Way wide. Again, Stead bouncing around behind home plate. Again, Stead saves a run, diving way out to his left. That's supposed to go to the backstop. That's an outstanding play by Stead. He's like an acrobat behind home plate. Yeah, that's ball four, forces in a run. The bases are still loaded for Eldrian Bonilla. They bat around. He's the ninth hitter in the inning. High for a ball. They've scored four. They got the bases loaded with one out. Now leading it 7-0. Pop foul back and out of play. It hit him on the back. Another hit batsman. The walk forces in a run. The hit batsman forces in a run. The bases are still loaded. Brendan Velasquez, who started the inning, made the only out. He hit a rocket to center field, but they're playing so deep, he hit it right at the center fielder for the out. The only out of the inning. Another nice stop by Stead on a pitch in the dirt or the turf. I gotta get used to that. Turf. Way up and in. 2-0. Down and in, 3-0. On the verge of walking in another run. Ball 4, another run. A hit batsman, a walk, and a walk, forcing in runs. Limber Thomas will run it first for Velasquez. Jerry L. Benson has singled twice and scored a run. Still only one out. The base is still loaded. 3 straight runs, hit batsman, walk. Another nice stop by Stead. And we're going to get a trip out to the mound. 6 runs in the inning. For English, the bases are still loaded with 1 out. They've got 3 hits, but there's been 2 hit batsmen, 3 walks, and English is just walking around the base pass. Bizarre. Malden came in hoping for a win that would qualify them for the state tournament. And all of a sudden they're down 9-0. Benson with a chance for an RBI or 2. A long night so far for Malden. We're only in the 3rd inning. They've had 1 base run of Malden, a bloop single to right center field. Hit to second, bobbled. They don't make the play. It's another error. They make the play at first on Manzanillo. He gets an RBI with Bonilla scoring. Second and third with 2 outs now. And the ball, this time Stead can handle it. Another run scores. And it's just a circus here in this third inning. Galver is the 13th hitter in the inning. Stead blocks that one. Stead's going to be a tired young man after this game. Galver singled and scored a run in this inning. He also reached on an error and scored a run in the second inning. 13 hitters in the inning. And that's ball 4. Four walks, 2 hit batsmen in this inning. Mateo Rodriguez singled, knocking in 2, scored a run in this inning. He reached on an error the first time up. He's been on base twice. In for a strike. Nine runs in the inning for the Bulldogs. That goes over the head of Rodriguez. An even dozen runs for the Bulldogs. And we're only in the third inning. Another nice stop by Stead. Keeps the runner at third. Hit to third. And they throw it away. Down the right field line. Another error. The English might want to save some of these for the next game. Top of the order. Gilmer Galver up for the second time in this inning. Fifteenth hitter in this inning. Hit to the backstop, foul. A 10-run inning for the Bulldogs. On the inside corner for a strike. I think Malden would like to bring the bus over and go home now. Way inside, almost hit him. They've already hit 2. Both hit batsmen forcing in runs. 3 of the 4 walks forced in runs. Solid shot. He hit that a ton, got way out in front and pulled it foul. That would have been over the fence if that was fair. So nice to have this kind of game at Fraser Field on a night where it's like 30 degrees. Curveball drops in for strike 3. They finally get the inning over. English breaking this one wide open. They put 10 runs on the board. We finished 3 finally. It's 13-0, the Bulldogs over the Tornadoes of Malden at the end of 3. Wilfredo Perez is the new pitcher for the Bulldogs. So Wallace goes 3. He retired the first 5 he faced in the game. Retired 9 out of 10, gave up 1 base hit as Ezekiel Nolsent waved at that pitch. He gave up 1 base hit. Struck out 2. So he only faced 10 batters in 3 innings. The hit was just a little Texas leaguer. Punch to the first base dugout. English getting 10 runs on 3 hits. Four walks, 2 hit batsmen. That's 6 base runners, 5 of them scored. He reached for that one. And a nice stretch at first base by Bonilla. They almost threw it away. Perez handles the first out. One away in the 4th. Ryan Cogswell, the shortstop, struck out swinging. He's facing Perez for the first time. Down and away, 2-0. Three and 0. Three and 0. He hits the pitch. He pulls it foul. Cogswell draws a 1-out walk, only the second base runner for Malden. Gavin, who came in that bizarre inning when they had a couple of errors in the infield and all of a sudden they took the left fielder out of the game. He went in to play right field. And the right fielder, Brett, went to play left field. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Hit foul to the backstop. Strike 3 called. He looked at the pitch. Two away. Brandon McMahon struck out swinging his 1 trip. Swing and a miss. Missing inside. He thought about hitting it, pulled it back. It missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the corner for a strike. Missing down and away. Missing up and in. Up and away for ball 4. So we had an out, a walk, a strikeout, and a walk. Puts 2 on for Malden. First runner in scoring position for Malden. It'll bring up Ryan McMahon, who has the only hit for Malden. He popped a little Texas leaguer over the second baseman's head in front of the center fielder. Out into right center field. I guess the coach that's left decided to come back. In for a strike. 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Down and away for a ball. Perez stepped off. Now he's back on, ready to throw. Hit foul. Velasquez got that on the hand. Trying to shake it off. Tough spot catching. Umpire's giving good job by the umpire. Went out to talk to Perez, the pitcher, to give Velasquez a little extra time to shake off that hit off his hand. Just hung high. Hit out front. Nice job by Perez, barehanded it. He gets a strikeout and he gets 2 assists. So he's involved in all 3 outs. So Malden gets 2 base runners with the 2 walks. They lead them both on. And we're to the point that if English could score 2 runs in this inning, the game would be over. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for the Bulldogs. And nobody would have thought that coming in. Malden 9 and 7, English 8 and 6. This is after we had a disaster in the first game where Glasgow mercy ruled Chelsea at the end of 4 innings. Nevin, the right fielder, is now playing first base. Janier Rodriguez reset an error. Hit a sacrifice fly, walked. He's been on base twice. He's got an RBI, and he scored twice. He'll look to get it started for English in the bottom of the fourth. We got going to get warm-up action down in the bullpen as they're walking out there. Looks like Gilmer Galva. So Rodriguez, Figueroa, Bonilla, the three hitters for English here in the bottom of the fourth. Good curveball for a strike. "15 hitters to the plate in the third inning for the Bulldogs. Down and away for a ball. Hit to right field, long run for the right field, not going to get there. It's foul. Hit hook foul. Halfway to second base, Rodriguez found out it was foul. There was no way the right field was going to get there. Again, they are so deep in the outfield. Even for a right-handed hitter, the right fielder. Called third strike for a perfect curveball. One away. Jason Figueroa grounded to second, walked. His second walk got him an RBI with the bases loaded. He came around to score. One of the 10 English got in that inning. On the inside corner for a strike. Waved at that pitch. High for a ball. On the outside corner for strike three. Too quick call, third strikes. Eldrin Bonilla reached center and scored. Struck out swinging. Got hit by a pitch, getting an RBI, and scored. Dropped it foul past third base. That was where they had a hit batsman, a walk, and a hit batsman, and a walk that forced in the runs. Solid shot, way out in front, pulled it foul. Chase that pitch down and away, they'll throw him out at first base. So 3 strikeouts in the inning. for McMahon. English is down for the first time, not scoring, not getting a base runner. We'll move into the fifth with English leading it 13-0 over Malden. Gil McGalva will be the new pitcher for the Bulldogs. So Wilfredo Perez goes in inning, gave up 2 walks, but he got 2 assists on bounce on 2 very nice defensive plays on taps out in front of the mound, out in front of the plate rather, and he got a strikeout. He kept the shutout intact. This could be the last inning if the mercy rule kicks in. English leading by 13. Waves at that pitch. It was up and in. Galva got help with that pitch. Aiden Brett is now the left fielder. He bounced into a fielder's choice as 1 trip. Down and away for a ball. So you look at the difference. Aiden Brett is up for the first time. The 9th hitter for English has been up 3 times. Line, shot, foul. They got way out in front of it. Hit it well, but got out in front enough to pull it foul. Chased that pitch. It was way inside over his head. Galva got a lot of help with that pitch. Four strikeouts for English pitching. Kyle Wilson, the DH, hitting for the first baseman. He hit a shot that Bonilla made a great stop going to his right, reaching across his body and picking it. And he flipped it to Wallace, who made another great play, beating Wilson to the bag by half a step or a step, got the force at first. The play went 3-1. On the inside corner for a strike. Swing and a miss. And I thought that first pitch was a ball, but it was a strike, so back-to-back strikeouts. The catcher, Bostad, he's had a great game behind the plate. He has really played well. He saved Malden a lot more runs bouncing around acrobatically, right, left, blocking balls. In for a strike. Foul tip off the catcher. 0-2. Third pitcher for the Bulldogs. Wallace went the first 3. Wilfredo Perez pitched an inning. Breaks outside for a ball. Foul past third base. That one bounces off the catcher, and it hit, I don't know what it hit. I think it hit the umpire on the head. He hit the umpire off Velasco. They're both smiling. It went off Velasco, went straight up in the air and came down. I guess it hit the umpire. That one bounced in. Top of the order, Simpson, who was the pitcher. He's now the third baseman. On deck. Chop, foul. So we'll do it again. Stead in his one-time at bat, grounded out, third to first. He's hit a few ground balls to third base in this at bat. Call, third strike. So Galva says, if you can strike out the side, I can do it too. He strikes out the side, and that's going to be the game. Two mercy rules here. English gets a sweep. The girls won softball. They get a sweep here with Fraser with Classical, and both Classical and English perform mercy rule wins here as English put up 2 in the first, 1 in the second. It was still a game at 3-1. Then they got 10 in the third inning to make it 13-0, and that's the final score. Malden got 1 base hit. McMahon against Wallace got a little blooper over the second baseman's head in the right center field for a base hit. The only other 2 base runners were 2 walks off Perez. English pitching gets 6 strikeouts, 3 of them by Galva in the 5th inning. For English, Gilmer Galva got hit by a pitch, scored a run. Rodriguez walked, scored a run. Reached on an error, scored, had a sacrifice fly. Jason Figueroa walked twice, scored a run. The second walk got him an RBI with the bases loaded. Bonilla reached on an error, got hit by a pitch. It got him an RBI with the bases loaded. He was on base twice, scored twice. Brendan Velasquez had a base hit, walk with the bases loaded, forcing in a run, scored a run. And actually, it was Lambert Thomas running for him that scored the run. Jerry L. Benson had 2 base hits, reached on an error, scored twice. Henry Manzanella reached on an error, scored a run. His ground out got him an RBI with the bases loaded. Gilbert Galva reached on an error, singled, walked. He was on base 3 times, scored twice. Mateo Rodriguez reached on an error twice, singled, knocked in 2 and scored a run, so everybody getting involved. They used 3 different pitches. Malden gets 1 base hit, 2 walks, 3 base runners in the 5-inning mercy rule. English wins it by a score 13-0. English moves 1 game closer within a game of qualifying for the state tournament. They're 9-6. Malden will have to wait till next game. They fall to 9-8. So that big 10-run inning in the third gets it done for English. They win it 13-0 over Malden. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.